folks, welcome back to another reading. Today I am using the Light Seers Tarot to get your daily message, and I've laid your cards out in a Celtic cross formation. I am speaking to someone who, at the very least, likes people to look at them as someone who takes decisive action, who is in absolute charge and in control of their kingdom, so to speak. Look at that lion in the background. Affects an image of a kingdom. You like people to look to you for guidance. You like people to be subservient. Maybe that's a bit of a harsh word. Maybe you like it when people listen to what you say and do stuff with it, for instance. Maybe you like people to obey you. You're someone who likes to be fast, too. Fire is pretty darn fast, especially a grass fire. At the very least, you're someone who likes people to look at you this way, and I'll talk more about that in just a second. Something that I see right now that's quite a challenge is your luck. It feels like things are just really, really rough right now around you. Things are inconvenient. Bad things happen at the worst possible time, that sort of thing. And it also just might be there's a lot of trouble in your life right now. The phrase trouble comes in threes popped into my head right about now. With the Wheel of Fortune being in reverse, and I should say pointing towards your past and kind of leaning away from your future, I feel like these are consequences from some actions that may have occurred earlier. Maybe as many as a few years prior to this reading, maybe relatively recently as well. It doesn't matter. The universe is not blessing this particular behavior. So you're kind of being checked. Your power is kind of being checked, or at least it feels that way with the King of Wands and with the the Wheel in reverse. I wonder if you're not feeling kind of nervous right now. If things are shifting in such a way that you feel like something could be revealed that you don't want revealed. In your past, you've got something here that makes you quite anxious. You don't want people discussing this particular thing. It's a sword energy kind of card. So while it is your own thoughts, you're also thinking about what people could possibly say about you, what they are saying, what they said in the past as well. I wonder if there aren't some things connected to the shitty things that are happening to you now that aren't connected to the anxiety that you felt earlier. Something might be revealed in the future that you don't want revealed. These are consequences for behavior, for actions that should not have been taken. In your conscious position, you've got the Seven of Cups. This is about making a choice based on emotions, but not necessarily thinking it through. There are clouds surrounding these cups, which talks to me about not seeing your way clearly, and definitely your intuition isn't leading your way clearly. You've got a number of choices, not just one or two. The point of this card is that you've got several choices to make, or at least one is going to be the best choice possible. The others are not as good, and some are downright harmful to you. Consciously, you're someone who may struggle with this kind of decision making. You may struggle to see a decision clearly without getting your emotions involved in some way, without your emotions clouding the proper path for you to take. You can't see it that clearly. So even though you're someone who likes people to see you as someone who knows how to take action, actually seeing your way to a decision can be difficult for you, King of Wands. By the way, I keep calling you King of Wands. You can be of any gender. It ultimately doesn't matter. There is no gender in tarot. These are all archetypes. And the King of Wands just happens to be one of those archetypes, okay? In reverse, and in the unconscious position, I have the Strength card in reverse. The word that is popping into my head from Spirit is coward. It is harsh language, and I think you should take this as it resonates. But if it rings true for you and it stings, then you need to hold on to that and ask yourself why it stings and what you can do to grow in spite of it. Grow toward your highest good, by the way. This is about weakness that you don't want others to discover. You affect an image of being a King of Wands, someone who consistently takes decisive action, who moves with speed, when in fact you struggle to make decisions clearly, with a clear head, with a clear intuition, and you struggle with feeling genuinely strong. You feel quite weak, and you're afraid that people are going to expose your vulnerabilities and take advantage of you, perhaps the same way that you might have taken advantage of them once upon a time. And maybe that's why you're so nervous, is because you know that there are consequences for your behavior and you're feeling them right now. These are current circumstances that are coming in from the past, and you can feel it. The universe is calling you to come to responsibility for your actions, to notice that you do feel deeply vulnerable, that you do strike at others when you feel vulnerable, when you feel like they're too close to your vulnerabilities. You are someone who attacks others so that they don't discover your vulnerability. The lion of imagery appears in both cards. They are intimately connected in the case of your particular reading. And that's kind of where I got the understanding that with the King of Wands, this is someone who affects an image of being in control of their environment, of being in control of the dynamic around them, when in fact they aren't even in control fully of their own dynamic within them. In your future, you have the Six of Pentacles. You're going to get an opportunity to ask for help, to humble yourself deeply and ask others for help. And in fact, that is your advice card, is to take the opportunity when it's presented to you to ask for help. Take the opportunity, and this is in your outcome position. Accept that a choice has already been made. There may have been several choices in the past that this King of Wands made right here, you made, that are showing its consequences up into the future. Not just in the present, but in the future as well. There have been people who were wronged by this King of Wands, and things need to be rebalanced. They need to be corrected. Accepting that is a decision has consequences and cannot be undone is one particular way of going about this. Accepting help when it's offered to you is another way to start the recovery process and truly humble yourself into someone who recognizes that they don't have their shit all together and that they need to grow into someone who does. And that means choosing to evolve yourself, choosing a spiritual path, choosing your highest self, listening to your guides, your ancestors, the universe, your deities, or deity if you worship just one. You need to start listening to people who are in guides, deities who aren't you. These are your current circumstances, your current environment, I should say. What's going on in it is that there isn't much love around you. It's a lot of hardship. There isn't much love to be felt anywhere at all in this particular environment. It's harsh. It's rough. In some ways, it feels like you've earned it, but it doesn't feel good. In your hopes and your fears, I feel like this is kind of an interesting dynamic. I wonder if you don't hope for a fight. I wonder if you aren't afraid for a fight sometime in the future. This is things actually getting physical, actually getting heated between yourself and some other people. I wonder if you're not afraid of this. But I also wonder if you're not the kind of person to just want things to be done and over with. So I wonder if you aren't hoping for this to just happen so that you can just get it over with. Somebody got hurt here. Somebody was wronged. and I feel like you know it, and I feel like you see consequences headed your way, and you're trying to defend yourself because that's what you've been accustomed to doing as the King of Wands. But I don't feel like that's working anymore. Take this reading as it resonates and leave it for somebody else if it doesn't, okay? Thank you for watching. No more from me. Take care.